With 2025 ending and all of the requests I've been receiving from you guys, here's what I think are the best magnetic keyboards this year. And take in mind the word I think, because this is gonna be my personal experience, my personal opinions, what I prioritize, what I think is important on a magnetic keyboard. So please respect my opinions. Like, I might think wireless is not really important, but you think it is important for your use case, so I might put it around a low tier, but you think it's a high tier, so that's totally understandable. We can have different opinions. But yeah, in this video, we're gonna be ranking around 71, if I counted it correctly, 71 magnetic keyboards in total. These are the magnetic keyboards I've tried and reviewed and tested this 2025 so far. And lastly, before I start ranking this first keyboard, I do want to mention that all of these keyboards have a more detailed review video on my channel. Just search MIGSS plus the name of the keyboard and my video should pop up around there. And since we're ranking a lot of keyboards here, I won't be able to go into details in this video. At least I'll be mentioning though what really stuck to me while testing these keyboards and what I truly felt when trying them and their price for value. I'm also not going to be mentioning performance that much because all of these keyboards are incredibly fast already, but I will mention though if it's surprisingly like slower than the rest or faster than the rest. And if ever you're interested in getting any of these magnetic keyboards, I'll be putting the links in the description, or if I can't fit them all, again, just please search MIGSS plus the name of the keyboard. My detailed review video will have some discount codes as well as my affiliate link, so I would really appreciate it if you can use those when buying any of these keyboards or anything from the description. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started right away. And I did kind of shuffle the keyboards a little bit, but yeah, starting with the NuPhy WH80. I think this is one of the best wireless magnetic keyboards this 2025 so far. It's very fast, both wired and wirelessly, but you're also paying a good amount of price for it. And for me personally, wireless isn't really that important or that big of a deal. I use my magnetic keyboards wired. I don't mind it having only wired options. So yeah, I'll be putting it around 8 here. I think you're getting what you paid for. Also very feature packed, by the way. But yeah, moving on to the MK60. This is one of the first around 2 million scanning rate keyboards I've ever seen, but not gonna lie, it didn't really impact the performance much in millisecond wise according to my latency testing tool. But yeah, you're paying a good amount of price and you're getting a good amount of quality as well, around 8 here as well. Next is the Redragon EISA K686 HE. Now this is a great magnetic keyboard, budget magnetic keyboard if you want a numpad, but personally I don't really use the numpad much. I'd actually prefer if I don't have the numpad on a magnetic keyboard personally, but if you really use the numpad, then of course I can see this being higher on your tier list. But yeah, for me personally, I'll be putting it around C. Again, it's not bad, it's just not what I'm looking for. Now moving on to the EWEADN Deep 68 and the 80 as well here. I have similar opinions on both keyboards, so I'll be ranking them at the same time. But yeah, they're incredibly fast for the price you're paying. They're great budget magnetic keyboards, especially if you want the Lite box. So yeah, I'll be putting it around S tier actually. Though if SOCD is a big deal for you, then I did experience a little bit of a bug or issue, or I'm not sure if they really meant the SOCD to work that way. But yeah, just take that in mind. Not really a big deal for me, and I think they're still great keyboards for the price. So yeah, I'll be putting them S tier. Now moving on to the Slice 68 and where's it 75% versions. Here's one, and I did review another one over here. I kind of have similar opinions on these three as well. On my past tier list, I did rank the Slice 75 HE pretty high actually, but since then the price increased. It used to be around 150, which I thought was crazy and so good for everything you're getting here, the quality, the sound. But yeah, they did increase it to around almost 200, so I'll be actually putting it a little bit lower, especially with all of the new competitions coming up. But it's still a great quality premium magnetic keyboard. I'll be putting it here. I kind of prefer the Slice 68 look a little bit more actually, and the sound. Again, totally be personal preference, but yeah, I'll be putting it around S tier. Now moving on to the A68 Turbo. This is the first 16,000 Hz polling rate magnetic keyboard. Now I did mention before that I don't think you'll notice a difference between 16,000 Hz and 8,000 Hz. It's already incredibly fast, but still I don't think the 16,000 Hz polling rate is the only thing that's going for this keyboard, because the case is so good. It's probably one of my most favorite cases out of all of these guys on a magnetic keyboard. It's so high quality detailed, has a light box, has a knob and a quick switch profile button. It's so good, and for the price you're paying, I think it is crazy for everything you're getting here. I'll actually be putting it on SS. I really like it. I wouldn't mind maining this keyboard, and you can definitely be sure of its performance. But yeah, moving on to the Akko TAC75 HE. This is one of the fastest budget magnetic keyboards I've tried as well. It's great for the price. If you really prioritize performance, then you're getting more than what you pay for, I think. But not gonna lie, I would trade the few millisecond, 0. something millisecond performance boost that you won't even notice in exchange for a little bit of a higher quality case and feeling keyboard overall. But still, it is a great keyboard. It's pretty cheap here from where I'm from, so I'll be putting it on the S tier as well. Now moving on to the Royal Kludge C98 HE. I do have pretty similar opinions like with the EISA K686 here. It's not really for me, but it's definitely a great great budget option if you want the numpad and a knob. Oh, and Redragon and Royal Kludge are pretty well-known brands, so if that's a more available option for you, I can definitely see these being higher. But for me personally, around here, Southeast Asia, there's a lot of great competition for a pretty budget-friendly price as well. So yeah, I'll be putting it there. Next is the Neo65 Sonic He Plus. This is also a great premium magnetic keyboard for around near the $100 mark, so I don't think it's too expensive. And for everything you're getting, I think this is amazing. I love all of its features, the sound, especially if you upgrade the switches to something like the all-up TIs or the UFO magnetic switches, it would sound so good. I also love the way you can open it up without unscrewing anything. So yeah, I'll be putting it on the SS tier as well. Now moving on to the DAREU Cool 60. Definitely a great budget option from DAREU, especially if you like that transparent polycarbonate look all around. It's very cool looking, I think. But it also has a lot of competition here. So I'll be putting it around S to A, almost S tier, but yeah, I'll be putting it around A here. Now the MK65 Ultra, this is like a custom keyboard, but it's Hall effect. So it's very premium, sounds great as well, but you're also paying the price. So though it's a premium all-around magnetic keyboard, I still think you're getting what you expect for. I'll be putting it around A tier. Now moving on to the MCHOSE MX87 HE. This is also a great budget option if you like the layout, you like its look, you like the floating keys design. Personally though, I would prefer the closed sides, but just still, for what you're paying for, all of the features, I love it. I like the looks of it as well. I'll be putting it around S tier. Moving on to the ATK 68 RX, also a great budget option under $100. Despite having a plastic case, it still felt very premium, and for everything you're getting, I think it is a great deal budget option. I'll be putting it around S tier as well, around here. Then moving on to the Gamakay TK75 HE V2, we actually did review this 2 times this year. We reviewed it again because it got an upgrade, so it has a tri-mode connectivity now and more sensitive settings. It's also a great magnetic keyboard if you want a silent sound. It pretty much makes almost no sound. Very quiet switches. It's also very feature packed. It does have a knob, screen. So yeah, for the price you're paying, I think it's great, but those aren't really a big deal for me, but they're decent. Again, I'll be putting it on A tier. Then moving on to the Pwnage Zenblade 65 V2 8K. This is also one of the most premium magnetic keyboards I've tried, but you're also paying a premium price, so it's not crazy. So I'll be putting it around S tier. I personally also really like how it looks like. Moving on to the EP or IPI Aurora75. I did say this is one of my most favorite 75% magnetic keyboards, and I think it is still today one of my most favorite. It just sounds so good. I think it looks amazing. I love all of its features, the quick disassembly system. It's quite unique, and around here in Southeast Asia, you can get it for a pretty cheap price. But if for some reason this keyboard is expensive from where you're from, then I can see this being a lower tier. But from where I'm from my experience, the price here, this is great. I'll be putting it on SS as well. Now the EPOMAKER G84 HE, I do remember this keyboard sounding so good, and especially for the price. It has a lot of features. It has tri-mode connectivity, so again, if that's a big deal for you, it's also good if you like the Wuting ATHE layout. It has it, as you can see. But yeah, I'll be putting it around S tier as well. It's great for the price, the sound, great quality as well. I'll be putting it here. Now moving on to the WL Mouse U163, which is my current main actually. I mean, I've been switching keyboards here and there, but this is a keyboard I'll definitely go back to if I had to pick one right now so far. The quality, it is also very unique. The performance is just a good overall all-around magnetic keyboard, very premium, but it does cost a premium price, so I think you're just getting what you paid for anyway. So I can't really put it like on SS, crazy good for the price you're paying, but it's still good. As much as I'd like to put it on SS, it's gonna be here on the S tier, since again, its greatness is kinda expected for the price. But if you have infinite budget, then this is definitely gonna be way higher. Now moving on to the Yunzi RT80, this is also a great budget option, but personally I did experience a minor issue, not a big deal, but I couldn't really use very sensitive settings because it does accidentally actuate here and there. It still felt very responsive though, and I like how it sounds like, especially for the price. It is impressive. But yeah, I'll be putting it around B tier, especially with all of the other competitions. Now moving on to the EPOMAKER HE65 Lite, I think this is one of the best budget options in its price range, and also considering its availability, it's not like only available in Southeast Asia from what I can see, so I don't think you have to pay crazy for the shipping and make it more expensive. But yeah, I'll be putting it around SS tier as well, around here. Yeah, I also remember its performance being great budget option around that price range. Now moving on to the IROK MG68, actually similarly priced to the HE65 Lite, but this one, the IROK, has a full aluminum case and I think feels a little bit more premium. But when it comes to availability, the EPOMAKER HE65 Lite I think is more available and will have cheaper shipping overall if you're far from Southeast Asia. But yeah, in my area, the IROK MG68 here is just crazy for the price, especially if you're near China. So I'll be putting it around SS tier as well. Now moving on to the Battleye 74.5 RT, it has one of the best screens, kind of, but it's not very customizable when I last tried it, which I hope they've improved already. But yeah, I feel like screens I can see this being higher, but for me and its customizability, again from my experience, it's alright. It also has a compact size, so if you prefer a compact magnetic keyboard, but for me not really a priority, so I'll be putting it on B. Not a bad keyboard, just not really what I'm looking for personally. But yeah, now moving on to the Womier SK75 TMR, one of the fastest magnetic keyboards I've tried. TMR is just crazy when it comes to performance, and it's also very customizable if you want to use mechanical switches and make your keyboard feel more mechanically, despite it being a magnetic keyboard having those rapid trigger features and stuff. But yeah, it is a great keyboard for the price, especially if you want to try TMR. I'm actually looking forward to more TMR keyboards this coming 2026. But yeah, great TMR option, premium magnetic keyboard as well, but it's not too expensive. I'll be putting it around here. Moving on to the iQnix EV63, a great premium option as well. I love how it looks like. It's very clean, also sounds very nice. A great overall magnetic keyboard, great performance. I'll be putting it around SS, like here probably. Now moving on to the Everglide Su75 Pro, also a great magnetic keyboard around $100. Very premium sounding and feeling, especially for the price you're paying. I'll be putting it here around almost SS though. Yeah, I think it can be SS around there, especially if you're also near China. This is gonna be cheaper. But yeah, now moving on to the EPOMAKER HE80, a good budget option as well, especially if you like its layout and its looks. I'll be putting it around S tier. I'm pretty sure its availability is also good, like the HE68 Lite. But yeah, moving on to the Qwertykeys X ATK Hex80, a very good premium option. I still think it's one of the best sounding and premium feeling magnetic keyboards, like a custom keyboard. But yeah, it does have a good amount of competition now too. It's still great though. I'll be putting it around S tier. Moving on to the GravaStar Mercury V75 Pro, it does have a very bold design, very alien-y, so if you think your setup would fit this, good for you. I can see this being higher, but I think you're getting what you paid for. The quality is great. I'll be putting it around 8 tier. I think this would have been more higher if they used the stock switches of the V60 they recently released. Yeah, this one, I also kind of just prefer its cleaner look, the V60 here, as well as the keycaps and everything they've used. I just like the overall feel, look, and the quality of the V60 more. So yeah, while we're talking about it, let's actually go ahead and rank it here as well. You can actually get it for a very good price right now. I'll be putting it around SS tier. I love how unique it is, but it's not too bold, I think, like the GravaStar V75 Pro. So yeah, I'll be putting it SS. I did give this the label of magnetic keyboard of 2025 contender, though I can understand if you think the looks aren't for you, since again, it's still pretty bold. So yeah, for me though, I'll be putting it on SS. Moving on to the XVX HE68, I think you're getting what you paid for. A decent all-around magnetic keyboard. I'll be putting it around 8 tier, around there. Now moving on to the Syntec Chrono68 G68 HE. It's also a very fast magnetic keyboard. I think it's well-rounded. You're getting what you paid for. I'll be putting it around 8 tier as well, like here. Now the IROK MG75 Pro. This is actually very similar to the Everglide Su75 Pro, but this is more cheaper from what I can see on the shops here in the Southeast Asia. So yeah, I'll actually be putting it slightly higher than the Su75 because again, it's much cheaper, and I think you're getting a crazy good value for the price. So yeah, around there. Now the DAREU A75 Pro. This used to be one of the most premium wireless magnetic keyboards out there when there wasn't a lot of wireless magnetic keyboards, but yeah, now there's a great amount of competition, and they might have already fixed it, but when I tested this didn't really perform very well, though I doubt you'll notice any difference. It still performed alright, but yeah, its wireless performance wasn't great when I tested it. But yeah, again, wireless isn't really a big deal for me, not really a wow factor. I'll be putting it around C. I don't really use wireless much. I would have ranked this higher if it had a similar feel to the where's its non-pro version here, because the non-pro version here actually felt and sounded great. I really like how it sounded, like, felt like overall more premium than the pro version. I think it's because they replaced the bottom part with plastic, so it didn't feel as premium. It also didn't sound as premium as this. So yeah, I'll be putting the DAREU non-pro version around 8 here. Now the iQnix EZ80, a great premium option, especially if you like its layout. Its quality is great, but you're also paying the price. So I'll be putting it 8 here. I think you get what you expect. Very well-rounded, high-end magnetic keyboard. I didn't really encounter any issues. Now moving on to the AJAZ ALOK 68 HE. This is one of the cheapest budget magnetic keyboards with an aluminum case, but not gonna lie, I think it's the only thing that's going for it, the aluminum case. Though it feels premium because of the aluminum case, it didn't really sound good and didn't really feel that premium other than the aluminum case. So I'll be putting it around beats here as well. It is great for the price price though if you really want that aluminum case. It's very cheap here if you're near China. Now moving on to the LumenKey MagCore68 HE. Oh, and I can't forget the word Ultra because this is the upgraded version of their non-Ultra version. This is apparently faster and feels better quality, but it's also more expensive than their old version. I think you're getting what you paid for though. I'll be putting it on 8 here as well. Now the Nufrite K76 Pro. It is a budget magnetic keyboard with a numpad again, but not a full numpad this time. Kind of more of a compact numpad. And as I mentioned earlier, it is not a bad magnetic keyboard, but it's not really what I'm looking for, and especially with all of the competition it has existing here, I'll be putting it around C tier. Moving on to the MCHOSE A68 Air. This is probably the budget magnetic keyboard I would buy if I want a light box, because personally I've just had a good experience with MCHOSE products, MCHOSE keyboards. I haven't really encountered any issues, and I know there's a lot of people saying that MCHOSE firmware is kind of bad, but personally I haven't really had any experience or bad experience with their firmware. So yeah, for me personally, I think this is a great magnetic keyboard, especially for the price and for the light box if you like that. I'll be putting it around here, S tier. Moving on to the Studio Ice Ring63 RT. I think it has one of the coolest knobs on a magnetic keyboard, and it's also pretty compact, lightweight, decent all-around magnetic keyboard. I think you're getting what you pay for. I'm not really that crazy for knobs though, but I can say it's cool. I'll be putting it here, or maybe here actually. Yeah. Now the WL-Mouse-Seeing75. It's also a very premium magnetic keyboard, well-rounded. I think it looks very good, but not gonna lie, I kind of prefer the 63 look a little bit more, though I prefer the 75% layout. But a great premium all-around magnetic keyboard. It also costs a good amount though, so I think you're just getting what you paid for, really. Not really crazy impressive. It's what you'd expect for what you're paying for. Next is the Nano68 Pro. It's also a great budget option if you want the light box, but right now it does have a pretty good amount of competition, I'd say. And MADLIONS doesn't really have the best reputation from my experience, and they also don't really reply to me much, so I don't know what would happen with the customer support here or when you experience a problem. It is great for the price though. I'll be putting it around 8 here. Now moving on to the DrunkDeer A75 Ultra 6th Gen. I can actually see this keyboard being on sale a lot, and for the price you're paying here, this is very premium. I'll be putting it around A, almost S tier. Yeah, somewhere like, yeah, around here. It also has a very unique feature, that bouncy kind of mounting style, but it's the feet that's actually bouncing, kind of like that. Great value for the price, premium magnetic keyboard here. Now moving on to the Gamakay X Snapshark NS68. Great budget option though. I also think it has a lot of great competition here in the Southeast Asia. It's good though for the price. I'll be putting it here. Yeah, now moving on to the Hero68 HE. I did have an experience with its firmware updater. Windows detected it as malware or Trojan. Now it's probably false positive though, but not gonna lie, for the peace of mind, I'll rather get the other competitions here just because of that experience. It's still a great keyboard though, especially for the price. I'll be putting it around 8 here. Now the EPOMAKER Magcore 87. It is a great premium inductive switch magnetic keyboard. It had one of the most stable switches I've tried, but yeah, now there's a lot more competition. I'll be putting it around 8 here. I think you're getting what you paid for still. Not a bad option. Now the Skylone GK68 HE aluminum. It's budget friendly but feels premium. Great value for the price you're paying. I'll be putting it as S tier as well. It's also plateless, which I think makes it sound more unique and better actually. It also has a plastic version that we tried early 2025 here. It's not a bad option, but it does have a good amount of competition, and I would just recommend you pay a little bit more for the aluminum cased version. Though recently I think I've been seeing the price of this keyboard kind of drop a little bit, so if you can get it for cheap, then that's good. I'll be putting it around beats here. Moving on to the NuPhyX BH65. It's a great premium magnetic keyboard as well, and I've been seeing it a lot on sale on some pretty good discounts. Like you can actually get it for under $100. So yeah, I actually think this is a great one. I'll be putting it around S tier, especially if you also want a reliable software. From my experience, NuPhy's software is just great. I'll be putting it S tier because of that. Great value for the price you're paying. Now for the ESCO A67 83, also an induction switch magnetic keyboard. I do have pretty similar opinions about it, just like with the Magcore 87. It is very premium, has very stable switches, sounds great, but you're also paying the price for it. And you know what? I actually don't know what happened to induction switches, why everyone just started going back to Hall effect. So yeah, if you want to change the switches in the future, you will have more options with Hall effect at the moment, or TMR as well. Now moving on to the Redragon FID K683, kinda old, one of the magnetic keyboards we reviewed early 2025 as well. It is an okay budget option. You can't really complain for the price, and Redragon is also a more available option compared to a lot of these keyboards in countries far from China. But yeah, here in Southeast Asia, or if you're near China, Redragon, this keyboard right here has a lot of competition. So yeah, there's just more better competitions, not gonna lie. I'll be putting it on C tier personally. Again, not a bad keyboard though. Now moving on to the Sikakeyb HM80. We also reviewed the aluminum version here, and I actually do prefer the aluminum version, but I'll do have similar opinions on with both of these. They're both premium. I'm also seeing them both on sale a lot of the times. I also love the layout, and if you really like screens, I think you'll be putting this pretty high up, but not really a big deal for me. It's cool though to have. I think you're getting what you paid for. I'll be putting it around here. A tier both. I do recommend the aluminum version a little bit more for the better quality and feel. And let me actually put this here. Yeah. Now the Iqnix EZ63 White Elf, still a great option, premium option, but now it does have a good amount of competition as well. This keyboard isn't really very new. They do have a more latest version, the EV63, I think, which is much cheaper and is a little bit more upgraded from what I can see. Or maybe that's just my preference, but yeah, I still think this is an okay keyboard on the premium option side. Almost A, but I'll be putting it here at the end of S. Now for the MechLands M75, a good budget option for a 75% keyboard before, but now it also has a lot of great competitions, I think. So I'll be putting it around B tier unless you can get this for a very cheap price or a great sale. If that's the case, I can see this being higher, but yeah, I'll be putting it around here. Now for the EPOMAKER HE65 Mag, I think I'll have some similar opinions with the Magforce 68 as well and the HE68. If you like screens and knobs and wirelessness, then I think this would be a great option for you, but those aren't really a big deal for me. And now for the price you're paying for this keyboard, there's a lot of great competition as well, so I'll be putting it here actually on B tier. Hold up, where's the HE65 Mag? Okay, I didn't notice I was holding the Magforce. Just to clarify, I was talking about the 65 Mag, but yeah, for the Magforce, it is also a great, more premium option, great sounds, has a full aluminum case, but you're also paying the price for it. And right now with the competition, I think there's better options, or at least from where I'm from. I'll be putting it on B tier as well, somewhere like there. Let me actually put you beside him. And then for the HE68, I think this is still a great budget option, especially if it's more available on where you're from. But yeah, I'll be putting it on almost A, but yeah, around high B. I would have put these guys higher, especially the HE68, if it didn't have much competition, especially from its own brand. They have the Lite version, which is crazy good. And maybe it's time to zoom out. I kinda can't see the top here anymore. But yeah, moving on to the Limokey L5 HE8K, a very premium magnetic keyboard as well, but you are paying that premium price, so I think you're getting what you expect. I'll be putting it on A tier. You're also kinda paying for the brand because it's Limokey. But yeah, moving on to the MCHOSE Ace68, still a great budget option today, especially if you want the 68 layout. And I also saw they have more switch options now, which I'm glad, because the stock switches I got on this keyboard compared to the current competition is kinda meh. But yeah, it's still a great budget option now. I think it is better slightly than the Air personally, because I'd rather have the closed sides than the light box with the floating key design. But yeah, might just be me though. Now moving on to the Ajaz AK680 as well as the AK820 Max HE. I think they're both decent budget magnetic keyboards, especially the 820 Max here if you want the screen and the knob, but it also has some pretty good competition nowadays. But yeah, I'll be putting it around A tier. I think you're getting what you paid for, a decent budget option. Now moving on to the MCHOSE Jet75, still one of the best budget magnetic keyboard options today, I think, for me personally, especially if you get them with the Kale God magnetic switches. So good, so stable, sounds great as well. And the 75% layout, I think this is my favorite layout from all of their lineup, or just for overall magnetic keyboards maybe. But yeah, despite it having only a plastic case, it was very premium feeling. I would have put this higher if it had like maybe an aluminum case option, maybe Jet75 Turbo in the future. That would have been nice. But yeah, if the around $100 price range is still too much for you, I can definitely see this being higher. But yeah, I'll be putting it around SS there. Moving on to the DrunkDeer A75 Ultra old version, I don't really see a reason why you would get this, and I don't even think they're selling it anymore, so just get the newer version here for around a similar price now, or maybe just add a little bit of dollars. But yeah, you're still getting what you paid for. I'll be putting it around 8 here. Now moving on to the Monsgeek Fun 60. Now the version I mainly tried is the TMR Ultra version, and that is a great one. I can't speak much for its cheaper variations, but what I can say though is it does have a good amount of competition, the cheaper variations. But if you're gonna go for the TMR Ultra version, I think that is a great option. It's still under $100. The performance is great, and it's compatible with mechanical switches, so if you want that. It's also wireless, but again, not a big deal for me. I'll be putting it around here, yeah. Now moving on to the Bat Knight Dream 75 HE. It's very unique, it's alright. Personally though, I think the design could have been a little bit better or more simpler, but it's alright, you're getting what you paid for. I'll be putting it around 8 here as well. Then for the Melgeek Made 68 Air, lastly, finally, I'm not really looking for a low profile, but if you are, then I can see this being higher. But personally, I think it's alright. It's also one of the only low profile magnetic keyboards I've seen with a light box, so it's very unique. But I think you're getting what you paid for, the quality. It's pretty well-rounded. I'll also be putting it on 8s here, but yeah, here it is. Dang, that is a lot of magnetic keyboards and finalizations. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with my rankings here, and again, doesn't mean it has a low tier, it's bad. It's probably just because it's not what I'm looking for, but if it is what you're looking for though, it has a chance to even go SS on your own personal tier list. But yeah, this is gonna be my own personal tier list. This is what I think about the magnetic keyboards I've tried this 2025 and how I would rank them according to my priorities, my preferences. And yeah, again, I do want to point out, despite maining the Hu163, the reason why I'm not putting it on like crazy top is because I think it's unfair to put a magnetic keyboard. Yes, it is good, but it is like 3 times, 4 times more expensive than other competitions here. So yes, it's to be expected that it's gonna be good. You're paying so much more for it. Where is your money going? Of course, to the quality, to the better keyboard. So yeah, I'm also in a way considering the price for value here of these keyboards, but at the same time still considering my own personal opinions, preferences again. Anyways, if you're interested on any of these magnetic keyboards, I'll be putting them in the description, as well as my discount codes that you can use to get some discounts on these keyboards. Though high likely I won't be able to fit all of these magnetic keyboards in the description, so just go ahead and search MIGSS plus the name of the keyboard you're interested in. You'll be able to find my more detailed review video on that keyboard, as well as my affiliate links and my discount codes that you might be able to use to get some discounts and support me a lot. I would really appreciate it, as well as the affiliate links, of course. I would really appreciate it if you can use those when buying anything from the description or any of these keyboards. But yeah, I've been recording and yapping for hours. I pray and hope that this video helped you in some way. I'll gonna see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to stay grateful, and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye bye.